Hey, what if I told you there's a company out there that just keeps breaking its own records, quarter after quarter, almost like it's playing a video game on easy mode? Well, that company is Nvidia, and honestly, the numbers they just posted are the kind that make even Wall Street veterans do a double take. So let's break this down. Nvidia just reported another record-setting quarter, driven by absolutely blistering demand for its chips. And when we say chips, we're not talking about your everyday computer processors. We're talking about the specialized AI accelerator chips, particularly the H100 and the newer Blackwell series GPUs that every major tech company, cloud provider, and AI startup on the planet seems to be desperately trying to get their hands on right now. The demand is so intense that it almost defies logic. Companies like Microsoft, Google, Amazon, and Meta are essentially lining up, checkbooks open, ready to spend billions just to get their share of Nvidia's supply. And Nvidia is delivering, but even at full throttle production, supply is barely keeping up with the hunger out there in the market. Now let's talk actual numbers, because the figures here are genuinely staggering. Nvidia's data center revenue, which is really the heart of this story, has been growing at a pace that most companies could only dream about. We're talking about year-over-year growth that's not just double digits, but in some quarters, it's been genuinely north of 100%. The total revenue figures have been climbing into the tens of billions per quarter, which, for context, is a company that not too long ago was primarily known for making graphics cards for gamers. The transformation has been breathtaking. And here's the thing that makes Nvidia's story so fascinating: it's not just about selling hardware. Nvidia has built an entire ecosystem around its CUDA software platform, which is essentially the language that AI models speak when they're being trained. Developers have spent years learning to build on CUDA, and that creates a kind of sticky loyalty that competitors like AMD and Intel are finding incredibly difficult to break through. It's not just a chip you're buying, it's an entire infrastructure, an entire way of working that's deeply embedded in how modern AI gets built. Jensen Huang, Nvidia's CEO, has basically become the rock star of the semiconductor world. The guy shows up to events in his signature leather jacket and talks about the future of computing with this infectious enthusiasm, and the market just eats it up. And honestly, given what the company keeps delivering, can you really blame investors for being excited? Of course, it's not all sunshine and smooth sailing. There are real questions hanging over Nvidia's trajectory. Export restrictions from the US government mean Nvidia can't freely sell its most powerful chips to China, which is a significant market. Supply chain constraints continue to be a challenge. And there's always the looming concern: what happens when the AI investment wave eventually cools, even slightly? Big tech companies are spending insane amounts on AI infrastructure right now, but those budgets aren't infinite. There are also competitors working furiously in the background. Custom chips from Google, Amazon, and others are getting better. AMD is pushing hard. And there's a whole new wave of AI chip startups that have raised enormous funding to try to chip away, no pun intended, at Nvidia's dominance. But right now, in this moment, Nvidia is operating at a level that very few companies in the history of technology have ever reached. The combination of perfect timing, brilliant strategy, and a product that the world genuinely cannot get enough of has created something truly extraordinary. So the question worth sitting with is this: are we watching the birth of the most important technology company of our generation? Or are we somewhere near the peak of a wave that's about to break?